Nicki, welcome to Maybe You're Like Me. How are you doing today, friend?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh man, this is so fun. So the thing that's fun for me is we've been recording episodes for a little while now, and I've been making a bunch of new friends from genuinely all around the world and all around the United States. And this is the first time this season that I've got a Lakeland local with me.
Yes.
And so it's fun to be in the same room as a person.
Yeah.
So you're 3D and everything.
Yes, I'm here in real life.
Okay, so welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, so there's probably like 3 people in the world who haven't heard of you or met you yet. And so for those people that are living under a rock and have never met you, who is Nicki Turner?
Nicki Turner. So I'm sure it's more than 3 people.
Maybe 4.
But I'm Nicki. Nicki is short for Nicole. So Nicki Turner. I've been a Lakeland resident for about 17-ish years. I moved here in 2006. So
Okay.
I mean, we just got into this. I'm about to embarrass myself trying to do the math, but 17-ish years. I would say, I'm easily inspired by colors and things that bring me joy.
Cool.
Made in the image of God. I'm creative. He created me that way. I'm married to my husband of 13 years, my amazing husband, Ben. And I have 3 girls.
Oh,
I know. Three girls. The oldest just turned 10. That was really painful. Double digits from 9 to 10 a couple weeks ago. So it's fun to celebrate her. And then I have twins. They're fraternal and very different from each other, but it is really a joy to be their mother. And I also own a small business here in Lakeland. It doesn't have a physical location, so I'm online, but you can also find my products at a store in Tampa, the Maker and Merchant, and you can find my store at East of These, their retail spot at the Unlimited Lakeland, which is a new spot where the Pulled Porker used to be.
Yeah. So yeah, that's super cool. So I was going to get to this later, but I'm just going to get to it now. I've been thinking about doing a new segment in the podcast called Why I Hate You.
Oh, gosh. Here we go.
Yeah. And so buckle your seatbelt, or like Why You Make Me Angry. I haven't figured it out fully yet, but people like you that are creative in the ways that you're creative, it just makes me angry.
Yeah. Like, let's talk about this.
Because I so wish that I could make cool things and do cool things like you do. And I'm happy for Lakeland, for Florida, for the world, because we have people like you that can make and do cool things. And so even right now, let's go ahead and for people watching on YouTube or on the TikTok, you're wearing your earrings right now.
Ta-da.
Look at them.
Yeah,
look at
and
them,
I
folks.
brought some for your wife, so make sure
was very
that
kind.
they get to you. Yes.
I was a little upset you didn't bring me any clip-ons, but
listen, I'll work on it. I'll remember that for next time.
Yeah, I absolutely would have gone with the whole earring look. Maybe a dangly one for like a pirate.
Listen, it's on trend.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
Like the cross, you got the cross on there, and then like a little huggy hoop.
Hoop.
I could do something for you. We can work on that.
Let's powwow later. For everyone else, please check back.
Make a Mike Burns collection.
Yeah, the Patreon. So the Mike Burns Pirate Collection. And I'm trying to think of other things that we could do. An anchor.
Listen.
That sounds piratey.
Yeah.
Skull and crossbones.
Listen.
Obviously.
A whole line. Let's do it. Another side hustle for you on that side. Yeah.
Okay. So this is your time to flex. Are you ready for this? Okay. So
I think so.
All right. Now, on the podcast is called Maybe You're Like Me. And so we're trying to figure out if there are people that are like me. I've got dreams. I got hopes. I got fears. I've got anxiety. I've got all sorts of stuff going on in my brain and in my head and my heart. And those aren't always the things that we project. And so for people that, again, they may have just seen you on the internet or whatever, if we're going to get past all the filtered versions of ourselves, we got to start with the filtered versions of ourselves. So like, who is like the Nicki that who's your highlight reel? Who's that Nicki?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. So I would say someone who I'm definitely on a journey right now to be a learner and an encourager. I think that's just something that's missing from the day-to-day engagements with people. So I make jewelry with my hands, and that's not, and earrings especially is what I sell mostly. And so everybody doesn't have pierced ears. Everyone doesn't have earrings, but I think that I create something that I love sharing with people, even just the process of making earrings and the creativity that goes into it.
Yeah.
The parts that you don't like so much. I'm just kidding.
I like creativity. Okay. So let's get down to the nitty gritty of it. I can't like making things with my hands is not my thing.
You have another version of creativity.
Oh, fantastically.
Yeah,
so, but yeah, I enjoy this. I enjoy talking to people like you, but when it comes to like sculpting or drawing, my gosh, drawing is the absolute worst version of myself. And I'm grateful for people like you, but also slightly jealous, not slightly, a lot jealous of people like you that can make cool things.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to try not to ramble, but to be more focused, I think that the part that people may not see me as much is just my love for people. And I've really been trying to show that through earrings because I really want people to wear my products and feel great heading out the door on their day, whatever they're facing on their way out. And so that is a hard thing to communicate. But, I'm on a journey to try to do that and try to be an encourager when I'm meeting other people that are also trying to do small businesses or be entrepreneurs. I've really enjoyed that. So that doesn't always come out, when you're going on social media, these platforms and seeing what people are doing, because it's also a business. You're trying to sell what you're making and tell your story at the same time. And sometimes it is very hard to bridge that gap. So.
Well, I'm going to give you a bunch of credit. I'm not blowing sunshine at you, but this is for real. So like you and I have crossed paths just being in town here and working in church world and that kind of stuff. And so like we know of each other, but when I launched the podcast and whatever, after a little while, you started following me on Instagram, and you were just so kind and like literally like everything, and not in a bad way, or I don't think it's a bad way, but to me, as somebody who's trying to launch something out into the world, it's so encouraging to have somebody who is just there and supportive. And so honestly, one of the biggest reasons I wanted you on the podcast at all was just because of how encouraging you've been to me.
Thank you.
And so thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it when you're making stuff and putting stuff into the world, it can kind of feel lonely. It's like, how is this being received? What's going on the other side of the screen? And so to have people who are kind of in your corner, even if it's just a like button, or even if it's just a thumbs up every now and again, it means a lot. And so I'm grateful for people like you. So thanks for being you.
No, thank you. That is very encouraging.
All right. So on the podcast, we do things in a couple rounds. And this is the first date round. You get it. The first dates can be awkward. And so
very awkward.
And so just for fun, do you remember your first date with your husband?
Oh gosh. Yes. I didn't know it was a date.
Ooh.
He did. I had a lot of guy friends, so it was not uncommon for me to just say like, hey, do you want to go to lunch? Whatever. And so we had been like cooking together, like him and my friend William would come over and we'd all like cook. And then finally William disappeared and he just started showing up by himself. And so he had a plan. And then he said, instead of us cooking, how about we go out to dinner to Gosh? And this is when there was 2 locations of Gosh, one downtown. There's one over here. And that one's not there anymore. For
non-Lakelanders, Gosh is a great sushi restaurant in town.
Yes, it's amazing sushi. So he was like, let's go to Gosh. So I went to Gosh, and then he's like, hey, let's go for a walk around Lake. And I was like, oh, this is a date, which I wasn't opposed to, but I was just like, oh, okay, this is not just like, hey, do you want to go to dinner? Like,
did he buy Gosh that night?
He did buy Gosh.
Good job, Ben.
Yeah, he did a good job. So it was a great date, and he recreated that date to propose to me less than a year later. So yeah.
Super cute. Look at you guys, little cuties, just dating and loving each other.
Yes.
All right. So good job, Ben, on the first date.
Yes, he did a good job.
Other men take notice. If you are trying to date a girl, just trick her into loving you.
Yes. Yeah.
It's always a good sell.
Yeah. It worked well. 13 years later.
Good work, Ben. All right. So first date, let's get to it. Okay. All right. So this is a 3-part question. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk dream vacations, but I was actually talking, I got a haircut yesterday. For those of you watching, you're welcome. And
fresh cut.
Let me tell you what, the fade is tight right now. I don't know haircut terminology. But he was talking and he was like, we were talking about vacations and stuff. And he was like, when was the last time you went on vacation with your wife? And we were talking about that kind of stuff. And I was like, you know what? Or he was talking about going on vacation with his kids. And I was like, That's not vacation.
You sound like my husband. He says the same thing. I'm like, we should take the girls. He's like, okay, maybe.
All right. So this is a 3-part question. All right. It's what is your dream vacation? But we're going to break it down into 3 parts.
Okay.
What is your dream vacation if you were just traveling by yourself? So you don't have anybody else to worry about.
Yeah.
This is dream vacation, just you. A dream vacation with just you and your husband, and then dream vacation with the girls.
Okay.
So
dream vacation by myself. Oh, that's hard. I actually not particular about a place.
Okay.
But I do just enjoy being in nature, being able to walk places. I don't have to get in a car and drive. So probably my dream vacation would be maybe on the outskirts of a larger city like Chicago or New York, where I'm close enough that I can leave the city to go do things outside of it, but then also like walk to a coffee shop and read.
Okay.
So that would be.
So wait, yours is being somewhere alone reading? Is that what I'm hearing?
Alone reading, alone by myself. Yeah. So,
are you, okay, just for fun, are you an introvert or extrovert?
I am so introverted.
Oh man, are you dreading right now?
No. And this is through small business and, a couple of other things I have learned. I really enjoy meeting people and talking with them one-on-one. So yeah.
All right. So fantastic. All right. So you alone is you alone.
Yes.
You just want to drink
I'm
coffee.
Not particular about where it is. Well, maybe a little particular. I don't be out in the middle of nowhere in a field, but I probably in an outskirts of a city that I could go do things if I want to, but it's easy to just like hang out.
All right. So have you ever experienced this? Like, have you ever actually gone to do this? Where was it? How was it?
It was in Tampa.
Okay.
I went there for like 4 days by myself, found an apartment on Airbnb. So I could walk to coffee, walk to breakfast, and then also just sit in the apartment and read.
Oh man, there you go. What is your go-to coffee drink when you're by yourself?
Ooh,
coffee and just enjoying it.
I would say a sugar-free almond milk latte.
Ooh, you fancy.
I know, very specific. I also like matcha, which I put for a drink at Press with Christina. And people were like, I was the only drink on there to vote for the 3 drinks that would be for a month. And it was like matcha. And everyone else was like these fancy coffees. And I got all these ones like, what is matcha? Like, what is that? I was like, it's so good. But they're like, I'm not voting for you.
Wow. People don't want green coffee?
My real friends. Yeah. My friends are like, I don't want that. But matcha is another one. So
okay.
I love that as well.
Your dream of being alone is being alone. I'm surprised it's not like you're just like in a cabin in a mountain somewhere with just like a library of books.
See, I get a little creeped out about in mountains in the middle of nowhere. Because as soon as the sun goes down, it's like, what is out there? There's that element of it. Like, I don't know about that. Like if I don't know where my neighbors are, I'm close to something, if something happened, I don't know. That would creep me out a little bit.
I get you. Okay. You win on that one. Okay, so then let's move it on. What's your dream vacation with just you and your husband?
My husband.
Also, I was thinking about this as I was writing it, and this is an awkward question to ask on a first date. So where's your dream vacation with your husband?
My dream vacation with my husband. Every year we go on a trip around our anniversary. And so one of my favorites has been St. Augustine.
Okay.
We've been a couple times staying a bed and breakfast there, and I love going there. And so once you go a couple times, as soon as you get there, you get in your room, it feels it's very comforting because we've been there a couple times. And so that's a place that I love to go on vacation with my husband.
Yeah. And there's some good coffee shops there too. So
there is some really good coffee shops there.
Would you like to hear a fun story about St. Augustine?
Yes.
Okay. So it's actually the same kind of scenario. My wife and I, when we got married, we had kids really quick. And so we had Ben pretty much right away. And then 2 years later, we had Will. And so, or 2.5, 3 years, I don't know the math. But he came around too. So we get to our 5-year anniversary. And in that 5 years, we had really done nothing just by ourselves. And so we're like, we're going to go to St. Augustine. And I was excited to just like have like so much alone time with my wife, and my wife was excited about sleeping.
It's like, I want to sleep this whole time
because like we've got 2 small kids, like they were like 4 and 1. And so some friends were gracious and watched the boys, and we were going to go to St. Augustine, just the 2 of us. And so we go to this bed and breakfast kind of place. And the first night, Katrina is just so excited about sleeping. And at 3 a.m,
oh, no.
the fire alarm goes off.
Oh no.
And so I'm freaking out. I think it was something ridiculous, like 3 a.m. And Katrina was so resolved to sleep. I think she would have just like laid there and let the fire consume her.
Yes.
All she wanted
She's
to do
like, I'm finally sleeping.
Like I pop up and like put on clothes and like I'm looking around the hallway looking for flames and smoke and stuff. And I come back in the room and she's like, is there fire?
Do we really have to get out of this room? Yeah.
And then, so I finally make her leave the room.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else in the Airbnb or whatever, the bread and breakfast, I don't think anybody else left their rooms.
They're like, yeah, we're not doing this.
Kat and I were sitting on the porch and the fire department comes and we've got all these pictures with like, we took selfies with all the firefighters and stuff. And it was fun, like 3 a.m, asking them for like restaurant recommendations and stuff. And literally as soon as they were gone, she was back in bed and just
she's like, okay, back to sleep.
Leave me alone. This is my vacation to sleep. And so, so that's my St. Augustine story, but love St. Augustine. Definitely a good call. Good Airbnb time. Good call.
Yes. Did they give good recommendations, the firefighters?
They did. We can gab about those later. Actually, one of our sponsors today is the Icebox in St. Augustine there. So for all of your, I think it was a restaurant needs, go to the Icebox. I think that's what it's called.
Check it out.
You check it out. And Icebox is our main sponsor this season. So I'm really happy that worked out. Thank you for answering that way. It really helped out. All right. So that's yourself, you and your husband in St. Augustine. What about,
kids.
With the kids, where are you going?
Where are we going with the kids? One of our kids has been asking to go to Paris, France. And that's as much as that sounds amazing. I'm like, you don't have the money for that, but nice try.
Not today.
Yeah. Be praying about that one. But they do love going to the mountains. Like you said a little bit ago about the cabin. Cool. I wouldn't do that by myself, but I would go with my family and kids. So we've been to Blue Ridge a couple of times. And so our kids just love hiking and being outside and, tubing. Anything involving water. Okay. That is definitely a dream vacation with my kids.
That's fun. Yeah. So you guys are like a hiking family?
Sort of. I mean, we have a cap. Like we're not going to go hiking for probably, my kids are still little. So that's 7 and 10. The oldest she's kind of can go with the flow. The twins, one of them is like, she may go missing and jump off of something. The other one is like, after 30 minutes of walking, she's like, why are we doing this? Like, I just want to sit down. So it is fun. They love being in nature, but we definitely have a threshold still because of what stage of life they're at.
Oh, absolutely. Even it's just funny how like different kids' personalities play into everything. We did a beach weekend a little while back, or maybe a year ago, and our oldest son, he's very much like he wants to play video games and that kind of stuff, and our youngest son is Captain Imagination. And so we're at the beach and like Will's building sandcastles and like doing shells and stuff, and Ben's just like grumpy in a chair.
Yeah, it's just like I'd rather be playing a game.
Yeah, and so it's funny how different kids interact with the same things, and so.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So those sound like fantastic vacations. If I had to, I don't know which one of the 3 that I would want to do this in, but something I've heard about recently, and it is fantastically out of budget, so it's never going to happen, is Disney. I'm not a Disney adult, but if I was, this would be the be all end all. Disney has started this thing, and I think it's $110,000. So again,
oh my gosh,
not in the budget.
Only $110,000.
Yeah, it's not in the budget for myself, myself and my wife, or my whole family.
You're like, no, yeah.
I'm not going to spend a quick $500,000 on a vacation, but it's like a month-long trip where they fly you first class around the world, and you go to every Disney park and every Disney thing. And like you get like VIP treatment and all your meals are taken care of. You even go to the place where Skywalker Ranch is, where like all the Star Wars stuff is.
That's insane.
And so again, not in the budget, but sounds really stinking cool.
That does sound really cool.
I might pay the $100,000 just for fast passes everywhere.
Yes. You're like, get in, get out. Yeah.
I just want to ride the rides. So that's a good time.
That would be really cool.
So let's pool our money. Maybe if my earring line takes off,
the anchor and the listen, that's another reason to get it going.
All right, everybody, check out our new Patreon, Mike'sEarrings.org.
Yes. So you can send Mike around the world to visit all the Disney.
And we might need to start another line so I can bring Kat too.
Okay. Yes. We
I think
need
there would
to
be some jealousy
do 2
involved.
lines, one for you and one for Kat.
Absolutely. Yep. Please check that out. It's going to be huge. All right. All right. So you are an artist. You make these amazing pieces of jewelry.
Yes.
And that's awesome. And I'm jealous. And again, I'm still working through it.
We're going to do the line. It'll be a part of it.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm happy that we can work together on this. But just like I'm jealous of you and what you do, is there any kind of art medium that you wish you could do and like it's just like not in the cards for you?
Yeah. So I think glass blowing. Have you ever seen people like make things with glass? It looks really cool, but also incredibly dangerous. Like it does not take much for me to hurt myself. Like I butchered my thumb and ended up in the urgent care trying to clean a pasta machine working with clay. So I probably shouldn't work with blowing glass. So that is just always like whenever you watch it, like if you go to places where they have shops and they have like the open windows, you could see that they're doing it and live. And there's a couple of accounts online that I've seen doing it. It just looks so cool. So part of me wishes I could do that, but part of me also knows I would probably hurt myself. So it's a really cool medium. If I ever it's probably incredibly expensive too. So if I ever could if there were no restrictions or if I could just do something, money wasn't an issue, maybe I would try that.
Okay. Yeah. How do you feel about the fire side of it? Does that scare you at all? Or is it
a little bit, but I've also started to look into like working with welding and blow torches. And so I've started a little bit of that, making my own jeweler's metal. Ooh. But again, that's on a smaller scale. Like, you just have the little torch in your hand, but glass blowing, I mean, that's a whole nother, like the pouring. And that's a little scary to me, but it looks cool.
I've seen like videos and actually my brother's father-in-law is like, he actually is like a big glass blowing artist.
That's so cool.
And I don't understand how they do the stuff they do, but like they've got like little beads of stuff and then they roll it in it and it turns into.
They put the air in it and it just turns into something very creative.
Don't understand it. Yeah. Good choice. For me, if I could draw anything, that would be great. Or like my brothers are both amazing graphic designers, and I can see a piece of art or whatever, be like, I like that. That's good because of X, Y, and Z. But if you gave me like a blank canvas and
you're like, create something,
it's just not there. It's not happening. Like I can, I know when something's good and I know that I can't do it. So I wish that I could be a little bit more like you guys and do that stuff, but it's not for me. We'll get them next time.
You're being creative another way. This is the way that you're able to be creative and put creative things out into the world.
Let me tell you what, we've all got our own spaces and this one's hopefully mine for now. So, man, that was a fantastic first date. I'm sorry that I didn't trick you into it.
I knew it was coming.
Ben, people talk about sliding into the DMs. He just slid you into a sushi restaurant. He was
very straightforward. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to take that girl on a date. And he did.
It worked. I'm proud of Ben for making that happen. So fantastic first date. So we just got to keep saving up so we can go to, your girls can go to Paris and then I can go to Disney World. Yeah.
Around the world.
All right. So this next round is the slow round. It is, it's a little bit less Disney World and cabins in the woods and a little bit more to the heart of who you are. And so again, like we see people all the time and we see their highlight reel. We see the stuff we want them to see, but this is actually, I usually tend to lean real fun. Like I never want things to feel too serious.
Yeah.
But I want to know, leading a small business and just like honestly living life, it's easy sometimes to look out and see other people's highlight reels and to see how other people are progressing and to feel like you're behind. Yeah. And so does that resonate with you?
Yeah, it does. I feel like when you only look at things that way, if you have that view of like what you're seeing and you don't step back and try to take a big picture perspective, it's very easy to assume like, for the industry that I'm in, the other people that I keep up and follow in that space, visually seeing what they're doing and hearing about what they're doing, it'd be easy for me to then go down the path of, oh, wow, they got that opportunity. They must be making lots of sales, or they got that opportunity and we're within this, space of each other, like we're in the same town, or this close. And so, how is that going to affect me? So yeah, there are lots of opportunities to feel behind. And that also like motherhood and your kids and how your kids are doing. If you have this perspective of trying to keep up with everybody and not stepping back and having a bigger perspective of that, there's lots of different ways that you can be excited about what you're doing and the pace that you're doing it at. And so it's made me have to redefine success and what that looks like.
Oh, wow.
And so, when I first started my business, getting started was hard. Just taking that step to be able to have enough courage to get started. The confidence wasn't there, that has come slowly later, but just the courage to put out there something I love doing while seeing other people doing the same things and feeling like they're miles ahead of me. But that my journey is my own.
Yeah.
It's my own journey. And if I'm going to define success on the level that they're doing things, trying to move towards that, I'm going to get burnout and I'm going to forget why I'm doing this and why I love it. So yeah, it creeps up all the time, especially social media. If you only let yourself believe what you're seeing in that moment and not taking a step back and realizing there's more going on there, it'd be really easy to feel behind, especially in business.
I think for myself, and maybe this is how you feel too. Like when I wrote the question, I was thinking about it through, I don't know why I always think relationally. So like when I was in my like mid 20s, like all my friends had gotten married and I was like, like, what am I doing wrong here?
Yes.
And like, so that was the lens that I was thinking through this of, but I'm thinking like, as you were talking, I was thinking about like, even this, like the podcast and then yourself and your business, it is so easy to look around and see other people succeeding. And so like, I always start, I guess, relationally and think about just people that are crushing it in their own, like their personal lives, or it feels like that, like maybe like you said, mom stuff for me, dad stuff, like their kids are doing better, or they just got their black belt at 3 years old.
They're always like smiling all the time. They don't have to deal with behavior issues, and it's not true. Yeah. No,
not even slightly. We could fill hours of ways that
I could write a book. Yeah.
Which makes me also like want to look back and be like, I wonder what my parents thought about me.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was not a saint even slightly. So God bless them for trying with me all those years. But it's fun it's funny to think about like how like you cocoon yourself in with these thoughts of self-doubt. And I like what you said about like making your own definition of success. And so there was a guy we talked to on the last season, his name was Tanner, and he said, you're not late. And what was his phrase? You're not late and you're not left behind, or something along those lines. And it was like that really resonated with me because in my brain, I started this late and I'm late to the podcast game. And I'm like, there's been so many times where I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And I hope that on the other side, that like when I'm like redefining my version of success, I hope that maybe somebody somewhere feels a little bit less alone someday. Yeah. And so for you, like you're making things that are going out in the world and are beautiful. And I also I don't give myself enough time to think about, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah. And that's part of the success too. You started something, and it's something that you have to remind yourself and be proud of yourself that you went out there and you dreamed it, and now it's starting to happen. And that in itself is some of your success. Yeah. Yeah.
I love every now and again online, you'll see like Oprah didn't get her first talk show until she was 78 years old. And it's like, I don't think she was that old, but, Picasso didn't paint until he was 800. And it's like, I'm not sure, but, but on serious, like, what are other ones? Like Mr. Rogers didn't get his show until he was in his 40s or whatever. And it's like,
Tabitha Brown, she's another person. She has a line at Target, and she talks a lot about how, if she had what she has now when she was younger, she might not have appreciated more. She might not have been as prepared for it. And I can kind of relate to that too. I'm not, I'm in my late 30s, a little closer to 40 than I'd like to be. But, if I I'm so glad that I'm starting this later in life with my family, with my kids and the season that I'm in, and inviting them into that, and knowing that I enjoy doing it, but it's also not my identity. But it's something that I can weave into my life and other parts of, my family and things going on during this season of my life. So
that's cool, actually. And that kind of leads into like what my next question was. You started a small business, and I don't fully know everything you've gone through to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so, all right, let's talk entrepreneurship, small business stuff. What have been some things that have surprised you, both good and bad?
Yeah. So I was initially surprised about how people liked my products. One of the reasons why I was like afraid to get going is, I make this, it's pretty, I can sell it. But it's like, are people going to buy it?
Yeah.
And so people were initially very excited about it. And because I was making it first and just like giving stuff away. And at some point, my husband was like, this hobby is kind of expensive. Are you going to start selling some of the stuff you're making? Like, I'm having so much fun. But at some point, friends would be like, how long did it take you to make that? And I tell them, they're like, you might want to consider, if you're going to keep doing it, maybe charging and then see where it leads. And start selling some things. So they're like, I would definitely buy that from you. So that was surprising to me. The interest was there more than I thought there would be. Like, it is continuing. I'm continuing to work, put myself out there. But initially it has been very encouraging to me that there was a pool of people that were like, yeah, I want to buy it from you. And so that was surprising. I was surprised about the difficulty of the day-to-day task, like figuring it out, creating a business plan, which is something that I'm still always working through. When I had a 9 to 5, I would show up at work. I had tasks, I was working for somebody else and I would work through those tasks and do them, but I'm my own boss now. And so, and I work from home. And so I'm, walking past a pile of laundry, which, I'm not totally opposed to ignoring, but those things are there. And so that is a little more difficult for me, working from home and sometimes being alone and trying to stay on task and creating a plan where, this is a hobby. I've decided to make it a business. What does it look like to make that transition? And some of them are hard because you still have to do it in a way that you are sticking with your why. Like, why am I doing this? And you're making sure you still enjoy it. And there's parts of me, like, it's very easy to leave a 9 to 5, be your own boss and work 24/7. And that's not something that I want for myself and my family. And so it's now I left that 9 to 5 and I have to figure out a new schedule where I can be flexible and do this thing that I love. So
yeah, I saw, I think you did like a Ask Me Anything on Instagram a couple weeks ago. And somebody asked you just how you schedule yourself. And so let's say like with the podcast stuff, like doing this part of the podcast is super fun, but then like there's a ton of work on the back end
editing and all that.
Man, so much. And so it's the stuff that like when I was like, I'm gonna do a podcast, like to talk to people. And then it's like, oh, there's so much editing.
It's gonna put it on a platform. And
so it seems like, and you can tell me if I'm absolutely wrong, but it seems like you've kind of got yourself into a rhythm and a flow. And so what was that? How did that work out for you? Was it a bunch of trial and error?
Yes. So I have squirrel syndrome. It's very easy for me to get excited about something. And I think I've really been blessed by, my husband and other people that I've decided to reach out to and ask to help me. Cause I had to get to the point, like, accountability is a huge thing. And, when you start a business or, a podcast, whatever you're starting, there is so much noise out there. You could draw a lot of information from other podcasts or websites or, people are wanting to give their knowledge to things. But if you could gain all that knowledge and there's no accountability for what you're learning and how to put it into practice, you could just be excited about it. So I am guilty of, like, my husband will come and be like, I listened to this podcast, and guess at the end, he's like, how are you going to implement it? I was like,
sometimes spouses are the worst. Get it together. I just want to be happy for a minute.
Yeah. And so I'll have other friends that are expressing things, and so I'll be like, hey, let's keep each other accountable of, you doing that article and me getting these, marketing funnels that I said I was going to do. And so I sat down and my husband helped me do a block schedule and So I'm working through that. It's getting better the longer that I'm going. I've been full-time for like 6 months. And so I'm trying really hard not to get squirrel syndrome. And like, these are the days that I'm going to do these things. These are days that I'm going to be making. These are days that I'm going to be learning so I can keep up with everything. And these are the days that I'm going to be trying to reach out to previous customers and check in with people that have expressed interest, and also networking. That's a huge thing. So.
Yeah. And then Saturdays are for glass blowing. Is that when you're learning
Saturdays are Sabbath glass blowing. Not trying to burn my house down. Yeah.
Oh man. What a way to go though.
Oh gosh. Yeah. What were you doing? Yeah.
So
glass.
This is, I'm sorry, I just mentally went to glass blowing. You squirrel syndrome me. So when you're launching something, when you're making something, it's scary and it's like a big new world of craziness. But you hear about like how things can put you down so much, but where have there been areas of like encouragement that you would not have expected in starting a small business?
So I think stories from customers has been a big thing. There is a woman, she has come and bought jewelry for me a couple times, and then she'll look for me, like she'll follow and see if I'm going to do a pop-up soon. Like she's not afraid to be like, you haven't done a pop-up in a while, you know, and my message slide into my DMs. I'm like, I'm sorry. But she has brought her whole family to come see me, and they buy jewelry from me. But then we're all like, how are you doing? How is life? How are your kids? That I love that. And then recently someone sent me, I made them a custom product and an ornament, and they were buying a house, and they had saved it so that they could take it to the house and show it to their husband. And it was like their moment together of being married and buying this house. So I love that part of it. Like that was really cool and surprising.
Yeah. I don't like if I was starting a jewelry business, I don't know if I would have expected community either.
Yeah.
It's cool that like you get to connect with people on a way that I never will, because you make something that is like a physical embodiment of how they feel and their beauty. And so I never would have put that together.
Yeah. Yeah. Just people being able to express themselves, you know, in a different way. I know one thing for me is it's very easy to like feel like things are mundane. And I feel like another reason why I kind of wanted to produce something that was simple and lightweight, that people could wear bright colors or colors that they feel drawn to kind of help with that. You know, you could be at home and not be going anywhere, and you can wear earrings. And as you pass the mirror or see yourself, like that's an expression of yourself in a color that you love. Or if you're going out on date night or just with friends, those are just, you could wear my earrings and feel a little bit brighter. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you could wear my earring and
help you go to Disney.
Yeah.
And feel like a pirate.
Oh man. Oh, it's the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. So
listen, Disney.
Man, we might get copywritten for that one. Sorry, Disney. We didn't mean it. Sorry, Johnny Depp. Okay. So there's one question we ask everybody on the podcast, and it could be as simple as you learned a new flavor of water you enjoy, or it could be you learned astrophysics.
That's so funny.
But what's something you're learning right now?
Okay. So this might be unpopular, but maybe it's not.
Is it glass blowing?
No, it's not glass blowing. I'm learning a lot about AI.
Okay.
And like ChatGPT and all the things. And if you have like a business with Google, there's another version. It's called Bard, where you're like, you can get on wait list and start using it. So I have really enjoyed AI and learning about it. Even my kids, it keeps them busy. I've taught them how to do constraints. So it's not just like, write this story for me, but my kids we've been doing like short stories together, teaching them how to, you know, try to develop like what you want the story to be about. And you also want to put the constraints on it that I'm 7 and I'm in 2nd grade. And so that's been really fun with my kids. And then also like business. Over time, since I was a kid, I've always had like these, I feel like the tools to do something. I know like where I want to get to. It's like that feast on the other side of the glass. And so, but the steps to get there are sometimes difficult for me. So to be able to use a system where I can say, hey, this is what I'm doing, and these are the constraints. Like I need help writing this email. And I want it to be inspiring to these type of people and this type of tone. And this is what I sell. And this is what I want it to do. and to type that into a prompt. And it's like, it is so helpful to me. Most of the time I get something back that is helpful. Every once in a while, I know Shopify has one that you can do for your products. And it's, I'm like, I don't think I would say go out and shake yourself. Or, like it says very interesting things.
Listen.
Like in a specific tone. And so, you have to edit it, but it's pretty cool.
I would like to counter that with the more you can shake that into your business descriptions,
go out there, the better. Have a good time. Yeah.
I wish I was as cool as you right now, because that was a really cool answer. It's funny, in my relationship, like I work with technology all the time, but when it comes to family stuff, my wife is always the one. She's like, I'm going to learn how to play Roblox so that I can play with the boys.
Yes.
And I'm like, Roblox.
Yeah.
And being an old man, but she's always pushing us forward, and so you are in the future and I'm way back here.
Fun. Yeah, it's not meant to replace people, so that's another thing too. People are like, it's going to take everyone's jobs, and I think you do. You want to be careful about that, and you also don't want it to take your voice. You want to put constraints on it so that it's helping like enhance what you're doing. Especially like I really struggle with those steps and formulating my ideas, and it helps me in that way. So yeah, there's lots of cool possibilities there, even for moms, like recipes and dinner. Like, this is what I have in my fridge. What would you help me make? And it'll do like
crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So what I took away from that was you need to start incorporating Shake That.
Yeah, and everything.
Shake those dangly earrings.
Oh, yes.
Make them pop. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're at the final round. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the podcast. This is where we see if maybe you and I are a little bit alike.
Okay.
I call it the common ground round. And you ready to do this?
Yeah.
You got your 3x5 cards in front of you there and a marker. All right. You are a girl mom. And so this is for you, not for your girls. But in life, you probably deal with both of these a lot. Which would you rather, if you're playing make-believe with your girls, would you rather play make-believe princess or mermaid? Princess or mermaid?
Okay.
Here we go. I don't know why I added too many letters in there. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I put princesses. Look at us.
Yes.
Princesses.
Rather do princess.
Any reason behind that, or are you just feeling princessy right now?
My children are very physical, and I'm just imagining us to be on the floor, and that doesn't sound appealing to me. I'd rather dress up and sit at a table and be fancy or pretend to be fancy. So,
and you guys have plenty of earrings to go around.
Yes.
Especially the dangly ones.
Yeah.
I can't imagine myself wanting to wear the mermaid tail. It's just, it doesn't sound comfortable.
No.
So sorry, King Triton. That's not for me. Little Mermaid, all that jazz. Ooh, yeah, no. But good call on princesses. And
you too.
You get tea parties out of it. So
I know. Yes, I love tea.
I've got 2 little boys, so neither of those are on the table literally ever.
They could be knights.
Knights, yep, of the round table. But that involves swords and.
Oh, that's true. You don't know where that's going to lead. Yeah. Or maybe you do know where that's going to lead.
I do. That was little Mike was all about if we ever went to the library, I was grabbing this is how the medieval knights lived, and was very into King Arthur and all that stuff. Moving on. Okay. This got a little too personal. How dare you, ma'am? All right. All right. Let's say you're having a treat yourself day. Would you rather go shopping or get a massage?
Oh. That's easy.
I'm having trouble guessing myself. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I put massage. You, but look at us.
Massage, yeah.
Getting a massage.
Yeah.
Any reason for you? Are you not a shopper?
It depends what it is. And I shop a lot online, and or consignment shops. So, but I'm not like a shopper. I like to look at things and not buy them.
Okay. Yeah. And there's nothing like getting a good massage.
Yes. It's very relaxing. And then after, when you leave, you feel like very like
you're floating.
This is the best day ever. I don't always feel that way after shopping. You get home and you're like, what did I just do?
I'm not a shopper. Every now and again, I want to be. And like the times that I want to go shopping, like we'll all go to the outlets together or something, my whole family. And that's a whole bugaboo in the first place. But then we do all this shopping and we buy something for everyone else but me. And I am just angry.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, so
we won't talk about it.
We're talking about
We're talking about it.
But the a good massage, you just feel like Jello when you walk out.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to put that on the old agenda.
Add it to the agenda.
Treat yourself. I will use part of my awesome earring money
Yes.
to make that happen. All right. When it comes to household things, would you rather, or do you have more mugs or candles?
Oh. I like both of those things, but I know how much I have because it's a problem.
I think we're the same on this in 3, 2, 1. I put mugs. You put mugs.
I put mugs.
Look at you. How many mugs would you guesstimate you have in your house?
Gosh, I would say 60 maybe or more.
60?
And I keep adding because we go places and it's really fun. I would say that would probably be another thing. It might be a more attainable hobby or like art form to do is maybe ceramics.
Ooh.
Because I just love mugs, making pretty things.
I still have a little ring pot that I made in like the 4th grade. Yeah, we have way too many mugs. Same thing, like, and on accident, you know how Starbucks has those
Yes.
I've been there things?
Yes.
How dare they?
Yes. And you have to take it with you.
Yeah. And like it's always in an airport where my carry-on is already too full. And then it's like, oh, good, I got a mug now too.
Yes, I have to get one for the city. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, Cincinnati, I'm really happy I've got a mug with.
So you could see it in the morning.
Yep. And when I see it, I'll be like, hey, I went there.
Yeah. It's another way. Like I get colorful mugs because I know like I'm really tired in the morning, but if I reach for that bright pink or bright yellow mug, it helps just a little bit.
All right. So how many, like, let's say you have 30 mugs. Is that too many? That's probably too many, but let's say, how many of those mugs do you actually use?
Oh, listen, I feel attacked. I probably use maybe like 10 of them on rotation.
Oh, you're better than me.
Yeah.
I've got 2 favorite mugs and that's about all I use.
Yeah. You're like the other ones are just there for decoration.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, they're, and just in the back of a cabinet. So
taking up space.
I don't have a full answer for this, but I could. When it comes to earrings.
Okay.
Do you rather a dangly earring or a stud? And I wrote this question based on my knowledge of earrings. And so those are the 2 options that I could think of.
Those are the classifications.
I'm answering for myself, even though I do not have my ears pierced. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I put stud. You put stud too? I
put stud too. Yeah. I love a good big stud. I make mostly dangly earrings because, you know, my customers like them. But you know, I have like studs in today and they're a little bit larger size.
Okay.
So yeah, I like larger studs.
So is that considered a stud?
This is considered a stud because it has a post on it and it goes straight into my ear. And then danglies are like when it's a piece and then it's attached by a jump ring. And so it has a little swing to it sometimes.
For everyone listening today, I wasn't expecting to learn so much, but I did.
Yeah, now you know the difference.
So just for everyone else learning right now, what other types of earrings are there?
So there's clip-ons, there's huggy hoops, which is, I mean, those are kind of dangles, but you could like he's laughing.
Huggy hoops is,
I don't know why they're called huggy hoops. Maybe I need to go on AI and find out.
It sounds like like a character on a kid's show.
They're called huggies. Maybe because they hug your ear. Oh my gosh.
Look at it.
I should have known that. I feel like maybe I knew that and I forgot. But huggy hoops, wire hoops. There's different types of attachments that you put on the dangles, like French hooks and clasps and so many things. Yeah.
Man, let me tell you what.
Ball post.
If you were not expecting to learn today, sorry about that. All right. Last one. If it is a Friday night, you and your husband cuddling on the couch, would you rather watch a comedy movie or a scary movie?
Oh.
I know this one for myself immediately.
Yes.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Comedy. Look at us.
I'm not a big scary
Did we get them all the same?
I think so.
I think so too. Oh my goodness gracious.
Let's see.
We are the same person.
We are.
We both got Bens in our lives. Yours is your husband. Yes. Mine's my son. But yeah, so comedy.
Oh yeah.
Do you enjoy scary movies or no?
Not really. I think I've only watched a couple and it's usually because somebody made me watch it. And then one time I saw one in a theater and that was a very bad idea. I think it was like the Strangers, Charles Manson story.
I don't know.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Yeah.
It's scary. I don't want my friend talk me into going to theater, but I'd rather laugh and have something. If I'm going to sit there for that period of time and watch something, I'm going to laugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I would much rather not poop my pants.
Oh my gosh.
In the middle of
at nighttime.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And
I
want
can't go to sleep, and then I don't have dreams about it.
Nope.
When I have dreams, I'm going to be about something funny.
Not here for it. I can count on one hand how many scary movies I've intentionally watched. And once was in college, my friends, there was a dollar theater here in town.
Okay.
Like, there's this movie, I can't remember the name of it. I'm like, it's a scary movie. Like, all right, I'll go with you guys. They're like, it's not that bad. And so I white knuckled the armrest the entire movie. And I was hating life so much. And then because I was just waiting for something to pop out and pop out of the screen and physically attack me. And so there was a couple of jump scares, and those made me jump. But at the very end of the movie, you finally see the monster, whatever it was. Yeah. And it was the most poorly done CGI thing that I'd ever seen.
Yes.
And I started out loud laughing in the theater, and I was happy and mad all at the same time. I was like, I've been pooping my pants for an hour and a half for this.
Yes. I've had the same experience with the series of movies that they've made over, and I could watch the second and third, because after the first one, when I saw the scary character, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not scary.
Ooh, yeah, not about it. Make me laugh, make me happy.
I'd rather laugh.
So I'm here for it. All right. So for people that, again, they heard you today for the first time, and they want to buy some of our new earrings that we're making, or they want to get to know a little bit more about you, where's a good place for people to follow you?
So my name is Nicki, but it's Corey Rose Handmade. I don't think I said that in the beginning.
That's what we're here for.
But important things. My business is called Corey Rose Handmade. My name is Nicole Corey Rose Turner. So Corey Rose is my middle name, and I just love it. So it's an opportunity. So I started a small business to use it. So you can find me on Instagram.
There you go.
At Corey Rose Handmade, and I have a website.
If you were to spell Corey Rose, how would people do that?
CORI, and then Rose, like the flower, ROSE.
There you go.
Yeah. So CoreyRose.com. Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I have a Pinterest Live coming up. So that'll be interesting. And you can find me here in town in Lakeland with East of These at their retail spot at the Unfiltered. And then you can find me in Tampa, the Maker Merchant. And you can find me 6 a.m. City with LAL. They're doing an e-commerce website. So that's something fun. So other people from Lakeland are going to be featured there as well. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's so many cool ways to connect with you. That's fun.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Pinterest Live was a thing. And so
it is. Yeah.
Again, learning so much today.
Yeah.
Learned about French and Huggy Bears and all sorts of
Huggy Hoops.
Huggy Hoops. Yep. Nicki, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This was a blast. Fun. And for everybody listening, thank you for joining us. We will see you next week here at Maybe You're Like Me.